Yep, I'm that guy. I just finished reading Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I know it's been out for years and years. However, the content in that book absolutely changed the way I will do my business moving forward. I've heard a lot of different renditions. I'm going to bring you my insights, and I hope it helps you make little adjustments to your game, even if it's just a reminder to take you to the next level. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, Real Estate Agent Playbook. So excited for this one. As you know, I do a book review on almost all the books that I read, and I typically try and read about one a month. I'm not the fastest reader, so bear with me. However, if you like things like this, definitely subscribe, as I will continue to bring these books on personal development and leadership to you, as well as a ton of other real estate knowledge, which I so willingly give out to you guys to build a community to help curtail the real estate failure rate. We are here to win, and if you have any questions, you can always book a call with me down low, and I would love to help you dial in a certain pillar of your business or just have a conversation, provide some inspiration, anything I can do. So let's get into it. First and foremost, Simon talks about the golden circle, right? And this has why right in the middle of a bullseye, followed by how and what as you go about. This is a symbolism that obviously in your core, you need to understand why you are doing what you do. And if you're able to start with that and build the how and the what from that why, you absolutely will continue. And I've done some training and things like this for real estate agents talking about their why, right? I talked about this actually in a recent video, but everyone had their hand up and I said, okay, write down your why, put your hand up. Once, they had written down their why, just quick, not a huge thing. I said, if your why has something to do with a family member or a loved one or a friend, please put your hand down. 85% of the hands go down. If your why has something to do with health or financial freedom or anything that has to do with kind of that next level, put your hand down. Everybody put their hand down. The point here is that our whys don't differentiate, right? So everybody kind of has the same why. But if you're going to work every day for your why, certainly that why gets you out of bed, gets you going, get your morning routine, get you working out, all of those things, that's great. So I'm not saying get rid of your why, but when we're thinking business, we need to start with why we're doing it. Why are we here to support these people? And if it's just because you like houses and you love people, I will tell you that all the hands would probably go down in a real estate office as well. So we need to kind of dig deeper. And this visualization of why, how, what really can help, because if what we do in our business is 100% tied to our core, the better it will come out, right? And so that's the first part of the golden circle, is understanding exactly that framework. Start with the core, work your way out, and every single thing you do has to do with that why, right? And I use the idea of I help people build wealth through real estate, right? That was my why at first. But honestly, I was helping people buy houses, right? So I started with the what because that was my career, and I was helping myself build wealth through real estate, right? Because every time a transaction closed, I would get a commission check, and that was great. And some people, got lucky because of the market and all of that stuff, and certainly have built wealth with those houses. However, what I was doing didn't really correlate with my actual why that I was saying that I thought. So when I really dug deep, I said, okay, well, this is my why. So how and what I do in my business has to all curtail to that. And so, that's the implementation of my annual reviews, some gifting things that kind of keep people focused on building that wealth through their real estate journey. And that's a huge piece. If I'm focused on their real estate journey, their specific house, their specific neighborhood, their specific needs all along, and I continue to consult and help them do that and make those decisions along the way, then I certainly am helping them build wealth through real estate, making those right moves, hiring the right contractors, refinancing when, it makes sense, leveraging that out of that into, multiple properties when the time comes, if that's what they want to do. So it's almost like my why has to be individualized on everybody else's why, once I get into it. So the how and the what has to be, be present on an individual basis so that I actually know what wealth really means to my clients. And so when I break it down like that, it sounds a lot different than building wealth through real estate. So I can get more transactions. So that was my first aha moment, and I've absolutely taken that and run with it. I had some portion by the time I read the book that I needed to do that, and I've done annual reviews and all of that. There's a video back on my YouTube channel about my annual review process, and if you go back and watch that, you'll see kind of when that shift happened for me. The next thing I want to talk about is building trust and loyalty, and this can be a lot of different areas in our real estate career, right? Typically, if we're top producers, then we're pushed to start a team, maybe own our own brokerage. That's not the route I took, as you guys know. However, I do lead 80 agents or so at the time of filming this. And the leadership piece is more agent to agent for me. However, when I really stepped back and started thinking about this, that trust and loyalty, I'm leading clients on a journey, right? I'm the leader in the real estate realm. They know that I understand the market. They know that I understand, the basic construction of homes and inspection items and appraisals and how to not only get through the process, but understand the product as well. And so building that trust and loyalty, there's a lot of ways to do it. I actually have a production YouTube channel that I just put a ton of knowledge out there. I view it almost as an encyclopedia, and that's a way to passively build trust and loyalty because people know, right? I've had clients say, hey, Jeremy, they don't even ask me how the market is typically. They just say, I was watching your video and saw this. How's it pertain to me? And I don't even go into, the details of what I was talking about in that market update. But I say, okay, how about you? Like, why do you want to know this? And how can I break it down? Because if I just give it a generic answer, I'm going to have a generic relationship, right? If I'm just a one answer, dude, and I'm not really digging deeper, that's a problem. And so building that trust and loyalty as, a leader in the real estate community, right? I'm trying to build that trust and loyalty with this client from day one. And if I'm not listening to what they're saying and listening to how they phrase the question or understanding why they're asking the question, then it's really hard for me to build that trust and loyalty because, again, going back to my why, it has to almost be an individual relationship because not everyone's different. No one is in the same place. No one's on the same chapter and so on. So always having that time to build the trust, build the loyalty, understand that social media and all these marketing tactics that we use are great tools to give you kind of street cred. However, once we get into it, those have to be all generalized, right? That's all general information. You're speaking to your avatar, you're speaking to whoever. So it's more general, right? And then we get down to it and we're talking dollars, cents, bank accounts, stock accounts, whatever. Then we can have the conversation about, okay, this is where this asset of real estate plays into it, or this is where you're at, or this is why you asked that question. And, be very, very cautious of building this loyalty and trust. Right. And that's not possible if we're picking up the phone because we have a lead from an internet source and showing the house. You have to be extremely successful and calculated in order to turn that first meeting when you're in a home to trust and loyalty. If you're, just showing the house, opening the door, what do you like, so on. So we can talk a little bit about that in my buyer strategies as well. But that's absolutely massive. To build that trust and loyalty through finding out what their why is, not necessarily your why, right? And so your why can be general, but their why might be a little bit different. They might want to be, building a real estate portfolio to retire so they can replace their income. They might be wanting to build a real estate portfolio, not at all, because they just want a house to live in. They don't want to rent. And so the different stages that people are in is super important. So trust and loyalty is your number one when you're in that one-on-one conversation. And the next is the role of leaders, right? If we're talking about leadership and in the real estate industry, how are we doing it, right? Are we sharing our knowledge? Are we a community, or are we, holding back our secret sauce, right? And as the role of leaders, adapt, we have to have that why that we can get people to buy into, right? If I can get my clients or my agents to buy into, hey, we're helping people build wealth, this is serious, right? We're almost wealth advisors. And instead of just finding a home that has the best kitchen, we're using it as a wealth tool, which we absolutely should, because that's worked out for me pretty well with 7 doors and so on. So being that leader, taking that leadership role, digging into their why, but then saying, hey, what about this idea, right? Or do you have any other ideas to get there? Oh, I've seen clients do that. That's not going to work. So if you look at yourself as a leader, as an individual agent, not to mention what group you're with, brokerage, or anything like that, as an agent, you are leading your sphere or your people through this process. And so as a leader, you need to ask the questions. You need to develop that strong core why you're doing it, what gets you out of bed, and why you're doing it for the people you're serving. And then we need to figure out their why, and we need to be a resource for them as a leader to make sure that, as far as you can tell, that the steps that are, they're thinking about taking or not taking are not, maybe they don't coincide. Maybe it doesn't tie back into their why, right? I want to, build a real estate portfolio. So I want to focus on foreclosures. Well, there's not foreclosures. Why? There's not foreclosures because we've had such great appreciation that most people that have, hardship or something and are looking at foreclosure have the opportunity to sell their home, before it gets to the foreclosure status for profit because they do have equity, right? And so you can kind of talk about that and say, we probably don't want to just wait for the foreclosures because it's going to be a long time before those foreclosures come in the form to get you to your goal within 10 years of having 10 homes or whatever that may be. But again, we have to know the why, and we have to be the leader and provide that knowledge, right? If you're an agent who just says, oh, the lender is responsible for interest rates, certainly they are at a certain tune, but you need to know kind of where they're at so that you can help people understand, and you can start digging deeper into people's why and be a resource for them, because not a lot of people are going to, hey, Jeremy, how's the market? Oh, call this person. I don't even know what the interest rates are, right? And, certainly there's rules around disclosing interest rates and all that, and everybody's different, but you should have a base knowledge as an agent to be able to help advise for the next steps, especially early on in the stages. So that's my rundown of the book. It's absolutely amazing. A ton of great notes and quotes that I have. If you want to dive in further and maybe dig deeper to find your why, I'd be more than happy to hop on a call with you. I do talk a lot about mindset and things like this on this channel and this podcast. So please like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast with your favorite real estate agent or the YouTube link, either one. Love what I do. Love helping people get to that point. But my why currently is not only to help my clients build wealth through real estate, but help other realtors like yourself build wealth through real estate in a way that fulfills them and isn't, seen as the hustle or the grind. And so I hope that I can do that for you. Please reach out, comment, like, whatever, send me a DM. I'm always available. But just step back and really think about this why and try and make sure your why differentiates. If your why you've heard before and it's phrased exactly the same, change it. Because if your why differentiates, you will absolutely be a top-notch agent for your people in your community. So we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.